Chapter 11, 94. Not Kneeling. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. The righteous path's immortals had just been sitting for a while when lone and demonic immortals also appeared. A huge gray cloud was flying over, upon which domination immortal Chudu proudly stood at the front. Behind him were two battle formations. On one side were Hao Zhen, Chou Lao Wu, Li Si Chun, immortal Wang and others. On the other side were Bai Zhu Ren, Bai Zhu Ling, as well as some familiar faces of He tribe, among which the four top supreme elders were also there. The righteous path immortals' gazes went past the spacious entrance. Their glances swept through the enemy group of immortals before they fixed their gazes on Chudu. Several breaths later, a Gu immortal laughed. Our righteous path shall win this battle, no doubt. What Chu sect in Bai Zhu tribe? Such a lineup dares to provoke our Huangjin tribes. Haha, that makes sense. The way I see it, we only need to be slightly on guard against Chudu. The immortals talked happily, the atmosphere in the hall becoming relaxed. In contrast, Hao Zhen, Chou Lao Wu, Bai Zhu Ren, and others looked gloomy and worried. One would just have to look at the situation and they would know it. The righteous path had brought out 3 immortal Gu houses. Loud Thunder Hall was to the right, Golden Dawn Hall was at the center, and Divine Light Hall was to the left. In contrast, Chudu's side only had a huge empty gray cloud below them. The stronger and weaker side was clear at a glance. The righteous path immortals were resting at ease with wines and delicacies inside the hall, but Chudu's side was standing amidst the wind, only able to watch. The righteous path immortals talked and laughed. Their morale was high. In contrast, Chudu's side was silent. Only Chudu had a relaxed expression. He had both brains and brawn. He was extremely shrewd and had already anticipated such a scene before this trip. Right now, he was not anxious. He looked at a Gu immortal beside him. This immortal was tall and thin, folding his arms across his chest. He had white brows and white hair, and had an extremely cold and aloof expression. Chudu transmitted his voice to him. Brother Shu, you have been in seclusion for a long time, tempering your abilities, and possess astonishing attainments. But you don't have reputation. Right now is the time to make your name known. I want to hand over the first battle to you. After this battle, I believe your name will not only be spread to the world, it will likely go down in history. The Gu immortal surnamed Shu heard this, and bright lights shone in his eyes immediately. Last time, Brother Chu invited me to take action, but I was refining Gu and not able to come out. This time, I must make the world know of my Shu Wuhen's name. The Gu immortal named Shu transmitted his reply to Chudu, and then flew to the sky before hovering between the two sides. He still had his arms folded across his chest as he remained silent. Inside Golden Dawn Hall, the immortals pointed at Shui Wuhen and jokingly spoke. They sent some nameless junior to his death. Yan or Pingjur was just about to stand up and take the fight, but was stopped by Nian or Yifeng. Be patient. The enemy only has rank 6 cultivation and has no reputation. Killing him won't be enough to awe these immortals. No need to take this fight. Ah? Nian or Pingji thought for a moment and realized it was true and did not get up. Who wants to take the first battle? From the main seat, Gong Wan Ting asked the group of immortals. A young Gu immortal stood up soon after. I, Louis Xiaojin, am willing to take the fight. Gong Wan Ting hesitated for a moment. She was inwardly thinking, domination. Immortal Chudu is an extraordinary person. He actually sent a nameless character for the first battle. They are definitely not someone ordinary. If our side gets careless and we lose the first battle, it won't be good. Louis Xiaojin was also a young junior and came to the blood battle competition under the company of his seniors. He was also like the enemy. He was still unknown and had not made a name for himself. At this time, Louis tribe's Gu immortal Louis Huihong smiled. This junior might only be rank 6, but he is talented in fighting and often pulls brilliant moves in battle. Even my tribe's first supreme elder has praised him repeatedly. Gong Wan Ting heard Louis Huihong. It was not good to contradict and disregard him publicly. So she agreed. Then we shall see Yalui tribe's valiance. I heed the command. This young Gu immortal turned around and walked out. When he passed by Nian Air tribe, he gave a deep glance at Nian Air Pingzhe with his golden eyes. You! Nian Air Pingzhe was provoked and almost jumped up. But Ye Lui Xiao Jin had already walked out the entrance. Nian Air Pingzhe had made his name in the battle at Iron Eagle Blessed Land, but many young righteous path Gu immortals were not willing to feel defeated. Ye Lui Xiao Jin was one of them. This time he also wanted to spread and establish his name through the Blood Battle Martial Competition. The Blood Battle Martial Competition's first battle was about to unfold under both sides' gazes. At the same time, far away at southern border, I have told you all the crucial information regarding Baixiang Grotto Heaven. After a bloodline descendant of Baixiang becomes a Gu immortal, this white form immortal snake can guide them to Baixiang Grotto Heaven. But Baixiang Grotto Heaven is filled with danger. Because Baixiang of the Heaven surveying five xiangs is a demonic path Gu immortal, you need to be very careful when doing this. According to the information my shadow sect has gathered, Baixiang was a man of his word and hated people who went against his wish, and was extremely tyrannical in the way he did things. Only Gu immortals whose battle strength met his expectations could talk and associate with him. You cannot stubbornly charge ahead in this trip. You need to remember when to yield. Ying Wuxi carefully instructed Bai Ningbing. Shadow Sect had already looked into the bet between the five xiangs for a long time and wanted to meddle in it. But an opportune time and coincidences made this plan progress very slowly. Naturally, the main reason was because Shadow Sect's full efforts were in refining sovereign immortal fetus Gu. Shadow Sect recruited Bai Ningbing because they wanted to hit two birds with one stone. On one hand, they wanted to exploit her identity as a fate escapee. On the other hand, they were preparing to step into the bet. Bai Ningbing snorted, I know what to do. Ying Wuxi was unfazed, still smiling. All right, go then. Bai Ningbing quietly took out White Form Immortal Snake. The White Form Immortal Snake was slender and long. Its whole body was covered in snow-white scales, and it had a graceful physique. Its eyes were like jade, and on the two sides of its head were a pair of long whiskers, floating like celestial ribbons. It was a rank 5 mortal Gu, and was very attached to Bai Ningbing, which was likely because it was attracted by her northern, dark ice soul physique. Bai Ningbing began to activate her phantom aperture. The phantom aperture was illusory, but after it was activated, it turned from phantom to real. Shadow Sect had stolen this method from Heavenly Court and had studied it until 50 to 60% completion. As such, it had many flaws. Because of this, Bai Ningbing could temporarily possess Gu immortal strength without undergoing tribulation, so she was only a false immortal. After leaving Shadow Sect for a period of time, she had not been able to maintain her phantom aperture, causing it to lose many of its effects and have limited periods of use. Ordinarily, Bai Ningbing would be in her mortal body, turning into a woman. After her phantom aperture was activated, she would turn into a temporary false immortal. The effect of the mortal Gu would be suppressed at this time and her body would return to that of a man's. Sometimes a man, sometimes a woman. Bai Ningbing herself felt awkward. However, among the immortals present, no one joked about it. Tai Bai Yunsheng was kind-hearted, He Lu Lan was fierce and ambitious, and did not care about these details. She knew was actually rather nervous after all. Bai Ningbing's success or failure would be of huge influence to Shadow Sect's following actions. Bai Ningbing began to release his Gu immortal aura. The white form immortal snake sensed this. Its whole body jolted before it gave a long hiss toward the sky. Its hissing was completely different from the sharp hiss of normal snake species, carrying a resounding and mighty aura. Then the white form immortal snake flew under Bai Ningbing's feet of its own accord, carrying him and flying towards the sky. In He Lu Lan, Ying Wuxi and the rest stood at their spots, looking at this sight. They could not go as they did not have Baixiang's bloodline, and would only make things worse if they went. Everything now depended on Bai Ningbing. Fortunately, to raise Bai Ningbing's success rate, Ying Wuxi and the rest of the group had gone to Jade Pot Mountain and gave Ice Soul Immortal Gu to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had his first truly owned immortal Gu. He looked down while standing on the white form immortal snake's back. However, when he saw the mountain ranges in the heavy fog, he suddenly recalled a scene back in Bai tribe. That was his first encounter with the white form immortal snake. The spirit spring was raging like boiling water. All of a sudden, the spring water rose up like a tidal wave. After it reached a certain height, the spirit spring scattered and splashed in all directions. The white form immortal snake flew out. "I pay respects to great immortal." Bai clan leader emotionally knelt on the ground, and at the same time anxiously urged, "Bai Ning Bing, why are you not kneeling down?" "I will never kneel before a gu." Bai Ning Bing coldly snorted, his body standing upright and tall. Although the white form immortal snake gu released an ethereal cold grandeur with heavy killing intent concealed within, Bai Ning Bing was not the least bit afraid. His two blue eyes directly stared at its snake eyes. According to the clan's secret records, once a gu master obtains approval, the white form immortal snake gu would fly with the inheritor and open a secret place in the sky. So, this so-called secret was Bai Xiang's grotto heaven, and the condition to receive approval was to become a gu immortal. The question from a long time ago finally cleared up at this time. Unknowingly, I have already reached this stage. Bai Ning Bing took a deep breath in, his blue eyes gazing high. Success or failure does not matter. I only hope Bai Xiang Grotto Heaven won't be too boring. This trip should be splendid. Langye blessed land, inside a secret room in a cloud city. Fang Yuan lightly let out a breath of air. In his hand was a dream path mortal gu that had just been refined and was still giving off warmth. His cultivation was still at rank 6-second heavenly tribulation level and had stopped here for the moment, unable to be raised, because he had almost annexed all the blessed lands in his memories. There were still some remaining, but he could not annex those blessed lands because of his attainment level. Ever since he realized that dream realms provided incomparable help to this style of cultivation, he had immersed himself in refining dream path mortal gu these last days. These mortal gu, when paired up with unravel mystery immortal gu, could form the immortal killer move unravel dream. With this killer move, Fang Yuan could easily solve dream realms and unravel them, raising his attainment in many paths. With unravel, dream raising his attainment level, Fang Yuan could annex even more immortal apertures. After annexing blessed lands, his cultivation level would soar up, causing his battle strength to surge. After his battle strength surged, killing would become easier and he could obtain even more blessed lands. It would then form a feedback loop of constant benefits. Do not bother mentioning bullshit like whether killing is against morality or how it would influence one's reputation. Demonic path gu immortals were direct and straightforward in this aspect. Fang Yuan had never thought of himself as a good person. The blood battle martial competition should have begun. I should participate a few times, kill a few gu immortals, and seize their immortal apertures, taking the final step to becoming a rank 7 gu immortal. Although Eastern Sea has city well, and there are many blessed lands in the well, it is too far away. Moreover, I have already been there once. Heaven's will already knows of it. It is better to continue refining dream path mortal gu while killing in the blood battle martial competition. It won't be too late to go after that. With this idea, Fang Yuan once again entered a dream realm. Verdant green trees grew in the rugged mountain path. A merchant caravan was traversing on the mountain path with difficulty. Fang Yuan was one of the members in the caravan. In the end, he did not yield and wanted to prove that with his ability, he could defeat his genius, a great aptitude little brother. He also needed such evidence for himself. But Gu Yue clan leader did not give him this opportunity. He personally schemed against Fang Yuan and used some sneaky moves, causing Fang Yuan to suffer an overwhelming defeat. Finally, he became someone who overestimated his ability, being cast aside and troubled by everyone. C-grade aptitude does not have any future. Even if you won against Gu Yue Fangzhong, so what? He has a great aptitude. The future of the whole tribe belongs to him. No, he is our tribe's future. As an elder brother, You truly don't have even a little tolerance. You are actually making things difficult for your little brother. Winner takes all. Victory or defeat was decided. Right or wrong was thus overturned. Black and white was blurred. Fang Yuan was on the verge of being exiled from the tribe. He could only join a merchant caravan, laboriously working while continuing his cultivation. Stop, stop, I am tired. This carriage is too bumpy. Let's rest for a while. A young man's voice came from a carriage. But young master, we are still a long way from the next village. We have already rested 3 times on the way. If we rest again, we won't be able to walk out of this mountain before the sky gets dark. A steward of the merchant caravan stood outside the carriage and spoke with a bowed waist. Ping! There was a sharp sound as a lightning whip instantly landed on the steward's body, sending him flying. What did you say? This caravan is my clan's. I have complete management rights over it. You lowly servant, you dare to lecture me? The carriage's curtain was raised up, and a malevolent-looking young Gu master walked out from within. This servant deserves to die. This servant deserves to die. The steward kowtowed continuously. The whole caravan stopped. From ahead came questions. What is happening behind? Questions came from behind as well. What is going on ahead? Feeling countless gazes at him, the young Gu master frowned as he shouted, What are you looking at, you bunch of lazy slaves? If you look at me again, I will dig out your eyes. Fang Yuan quickly lowered his head. You, yes you. The young Gu master suddenly pointed at Fang Yuan. Come over, kneel down, be a stool for this master. This is your honor. I want to rest outside for a while. Fang Yuan raised his head, staring at the young Gu master with pursed lips. I won't kneel. What? The young Gu master could not believe it, almost thinking he had misheard it. What did you say just now? You won't kneel? His finger that was pointing at Fang Yuan was slightly shaking. His expression was exaggerated, as if he had heard a joke. Ha ha, you won't kneel? You are an ant-like slave. You still won't kneel? He then heard Fang Yuan's words again. No, I won't kneel.